Morning. As promised, we're gonna do a couple of YouTube videos for you guys. We're coming at the high tech studio that we've got here, and we've got the camera held up by a bin, so it's going well so far. We're just going to talk a little bit about ourselves, our backgrounds, how we got into the fitness industry and things like that. So without further ado, I'll pass over to Scott, who'll start us off.
Have we got a name for these, by the way?
I think we should open it up for offers.
Right, so yeah, first of all, if you can think of a name for these videos, just let us know. Nothing too offensive, nothing regarding bald heads or lisps, and I think that'll be alright. So yeah, so I think I'll introduce myself first. Obviously Scott Roberts. I specialise in fat loss and nutrition. Where shall I start? So I think sort of me and Pete to a degree have got the same sort of story in that we've not done this all our lives. We've sort of had proper jobs before this. And so yeah, before this I had a history in construction. We had a family business that ended up in Spain, and I was shit at my job basically. Had no interest in it, so that lack of interest basically resulted in me being terrible. And sort of towards the end of being in Spain, business wasn't going too great. I met my now wife Janie, sort of the summer of, I better get this right now, I'll say 2012, it might have been 2013, but we sort of started dating that summer, and towards the end of that summer she moved to Manchester. In that time I was studying for my level 3 and I was doing a bit of PT in Spain. Was visiting Janie in Manchester, and it got to the point where I was basically threw everything in a suitcase. Well, my dad did, I think. Threw everything in a suitcase and shipped me off to Manchester. Landed in Liverpool. The rain was blowing sideways, and I wondered what the fuck I'd done. But I basically ended up working in Pure Gym in Rochdale. Sort of when I was doing my studying and when I passed, I soon realised that my passion, if you like, or my interest was mainly fat loss related with general population. So people working in offices, people that have tried every diet under the sun, and yeah, I quickly realised that everything revolved around nutrition. So all my studying revolved around nutrition. One of the first things I wanted to do when moving from Spain was do seminars and do things like that. So I did a few seminars, and then I joined a certification by Precision Nutrition, which I think they're Canadian based, and it's all online. Probably the biggest thing I took away from that was building a client's habits and lifestyle and things like that. And even to this day, it's probably the biggest thing I use with clients, and it's the most important thing I've learned. Since then, well, currently I'm halfway through another nutrition course called Mac Nutrition Uni, and that's just taken not only my knowledge to the next level, but probably my confidence a bit as well. It's, what shall I say, it's sort of proved what I know already, which has given me the confidence to go out and implement it. But it's also proved that a lot of the stuff I was learning at the start is not only confusing matters, but a lot of it's complete bullshit as well. So it's just allowed me to strip the information back what I give to people, and it's probably resulting in even better results with my clients as well. Sometimes I think I make things too simple. It's probably not sexy enough for a few people. But yeah, that's about it really. What about you?
Yeah, similar.
Went on for a bit there.
I like it. Like Scott said, I've not been in this all my life. I have been a sportsman since I was little. I've always played sports since I was under 11s cricketer, football, rugby, basketball, everything. But I joined the Armed Forces at 18. I was a weapons engineer in the RAF. Basically, that means I've worked on missiles, bombs, ejection seats, things like that for fighter jets. I did IED disposal for 5 years. I was an instructor teaching tri-service for the Army, Navy, Air Force, for Northern Ireland, UK, and sometimes Afghanistan. Loved it. Loved my time in the forces, but when I found out my fiancée was pregnant, didn't want to be away anymore. It's a lot of time away, and I wanted to be at home for my son. So my son was born 2014. We needed to make a change so I could see him. So I changed my career. With my background in sport, it seemed only right. I've looked into engineering, looked into all sorts of stuff, but there was nothing that I really wanted to do that I was passionate about. During my time in the force, I played rugby league, I'd coached rugby league, I'd took up mixed martial arts, done boxing, Muay Thai, everything sport, and I'd always helped out with guys in the gym, always written some programmes, and always studied myself. I owned a lot of books and read a lot of articles before I ever got into PT. A lot of the stuff you see regurgitated now, I had 10 years ago. Really had a passion for it, and it seemed like the only thing to do. As I left, moved back to Manchester, got the job at Pure Gym here. Scott was one of the established guys come from a different gym, and to be honest, he was a guy I looked up to, seeing he was a bit more further on his career than me. So it's nice to come in and someone else be there. From that point, when you see other people around you who are getting education all the time, you go on and get education. I guess my speciality when I started was probably sports based. I was performance, getting people fit, just tying in with everything I'd done in my life. I'd always trained for different things. I was up at 99 kilos when I was playing rugby. I fought mixed martial arts at 82. So I'd controlled different parts of my body, done some body composition stuff, but it was always related to sport. It was never aesthetics sort of thing, never to just change the way I looked. When I got into that, I kind of came from a bit of a CrossFit background as well. I'd done quite a lot of CrossFit. Got into the Jim Jones community. Did my level 1 seminar with Jim Jones, which was great. Teaches you a few things, and how, as Scott said, a lot of the stuff you're taught is very simple. People make things far too fancy. And when I go into Jim Jones stuff, it's very much about hard work for your fitness and keep your nutrition nice and basic. The more basic you keep things, the more effective they are. There is no sort of crazy scenario that we're all finding out that's brand new and no one knew about. Everyone's just got to work hard and be accountable for yourself, and I love that. From there, I took my training on, went on to, I do a thing called the Advanced Coaching Academy, teach you about nutrition, psychology, physiology, similar to Scott's gone on with the Mac Uni. It's nice to have that sort of accountability to something that we know we're getting the right information in, and we're passing it on. We share a lot of the similar interests with the guys we follow online, because we're a pair of grumpy old men, really. So we've been through it, because we come from a different industry and things. We've been through it all. We've been on the receiving end. We weren't 18-year-old experts in this. We were the kids buying Men's Health magazine and being ripped off week by week with brand new fad diets and things like that. So I think we've ended up at a similar point, and that's why we've kind of joined forces when we've got here to talk through a few things. We've held seminars before, and I think what we teach is pretty similar.
So I think when Pete mentioned the accountability of, say, the Advanced Coaching Academy,
yeah.
So the ACA, things like the Mac Nutrition, I know I wouldn't do a lot of this learning if, one, I'd not forked out a load of money for it, and two, well, obviously there's someone there pushing you, but also there's a group environment. There's a private group that I'm in, Pete's in a private group as well, and there's just that support system, and it's something we trying to push on to you watching this, or our clients. this gym has, I think it's about 5,500 members, and if you went round and asking these people what you need to do to get into shape, whatever it is, lose weight, get bigger, they'd probably tell you roughly what you need to do, but very few of them are actually doing it. And I suppose that's the only reason we're earning any money, is because people need that accountability to get results. People actually need to be spending some money on it to make sure they do what needs to be done, and just the support of having me or Pete at the end of a phone to say, look, I'm struggling today, or this doesn't make sense, and then just having one of us there to say, look, you just need to do this, stop complicating it, or sometimes it needs a kick up the arse. So, I know we're personal trainers and you can throw at us like, oh, you're meant to be strong or you're meant to be in shape, but what we're sort of doing business-wise sort of relates to what you may be trying to do from a fitness or physique point of view, and it's just having that guidance there more than anything, and just someone there pushing you more than anything.
Yeah, I know, like as Scott said, when we got into it, you think that as you get into personal training, you get further into the science of things, that you're going to be giving all these crazy equations to people, and we're going to figure out this many calories and you have this much fibre and stuff like that. 9/10 of what I do is just give people basic advice. Last night, as someone texted me late at night, stuck for something to eat, got these options, which one's the best one? It's things like that. It's not always, you're not coming to a PT all the time and we're going to baffle you with science and things like that. We take the science on board to try and simplify things as much as possible. And as Scott referred to at the start, it's not always the sexy side of stuff that we get into. We're both very much fact-based. If we can give you the truth, we'll give you the truth straight away. If you just need help with a little bit of decision making, that's what we're there for. And there's a little bit of sometimes a shoulder, sometimes an ear, sometimes just to give you a little tiny bit of advice, nothing major, and that can help massively.
Yeah, like I don't think either of us really know where we're going to take these videos in the future, but obviously they're here to educate you. So if you have any questions, get in touch with us and we'll put a video together based on the questions you ask. Hopefully we come across as knowledgeable. We don't know everything, but we're putting the things in place to learn as much as possible. We're honest. I think if anyone knows us or works with us or just follows us on social media, you're not going to get much bullshit out of us. And then on top of that, I suppose our passion. We like we said, we've not been doing this since we were 16 years old. We've been in jobs. Well, I think Pete enjoyed his job more than me, but I was in a job I had zero interest in. With this now, I'm sat up at 9 o'clock at night at times on social media helping people, trying to learn stuff that I don't know. I wasn't doing a minute of that in construction. I wasn't on Google looking at the best glue to stick two pipes together or stuff like that. So, you'll get honesty out of us, you'll get some passion out of us, hopefully you'll learn something. And then if there are more specific things we can help you with, we'll try our best to answer them as well.
Yeah, that's pretty much secondary there. If you ask us questions and we don't know, we're not going to bullshit you. I'm more than happy. Like I say, we're both in private groups on Facebook with some guys who are much more experienced than us. Whenever you get into any job, there's always guys who've been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years. We've got contacts like that. So if you get in touch with us and we can't tell you the answer straight away, we will get back to you. I'm not going to lie to people, and I know Scott doesn't lie to people about it. It's important that the right information gets out there. Otherwise, you're going to keep going through the same battles over and over again. We'll only tell you the truth, and I hope you all find these videos useful.
Yeah, I think just before we finish up, we're probably at a time now where there's more information out there than ever before. Yet, if we take my side of things, fat loss, I think obesity is at its worst. Speaking to people on a daily basis, the information out. There's that much information out there. It's just confusing everyone. It doesn't help when people have an agenda and they're giving the wrong information out based on their bias or what they're selling, what they're making money off. So if we can bring a bit of honesty to it, then it's better for the industry, it's better for you. Hopefully it's better for our bank balance as well, but we'll see what comes of that as well.
Right, so I think that wraps up for the first one. Don't forget, any names for these little chats that you want to put on so we can give them a title, send them to us, names on a postcard. And yeah, any questions, get in touch and we'll try and hit some more Q&As over the next few weeks. Speak to you all soon.
Bye.